Hello, my name is Matthew and I work with AmpUp's government and utility team. In this video, we're going to be reviewing incentives for new and used electric vehicles included in the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed through Congress and signed into law by President Biden in August of 2022. Although this legislation does not include direct incentives for EV charging equipment, we feel as though the support for both new and used electric vehicle purchases are the most substantial to ever be offered by the federal government, and this action should act as a sizable tailwind for electric vehicle adoption in the years to come. The Inflation Reduction Act revived and expanded the $7,500 federal tax credit for new electric vehicles and also created an additional first-of-its-kind tax credit for used vehicles, which is calculated as 30% of the sale price up to a maximum of $4,000, whichever is lower. The previous federal tax credit of $7,500 for new electric vehicles was limited to 200,000 units per OEM, and manufacturers such as Tesla, GM, and Toyota long ago hit this cap and their models were no longer eligible. Going forward, models from these OEMs, as well as many others, will be eligible for the rebate, although there are some restrictions on the incentive which we will go over in more detail. Multiple conditions are required for a new vehicle to get the full $7,500 incentive. First, the vehicle must be assembled in North America, and $3,750 of the tax credit's value is tied to a requirement that the majority of the battery is also manufactured or assembled in North America. The remaining $3,750 is tied to a certain percentage of the critical minerals in the battery being sourced from either North America or a country that the US has a free trade agreement with, and this percentage is set to increase over time. Another eligibility requirement is that the MSRP for a sedan cannot exceed $55,000, and the MSRP for a truck, van, or SUV cannot exceed $80,000. Additionally, an income cap for the purchaser of $150,000 for an individual or $300,000 for those filing jointly applies to the new vehicle credit, and a cap of $75,000 for an individual or $150,000 for those filing jointly applies to the used credit. These requirements do reduce the number of vehicles and drivers which can qualify for the entire credit, although more electric vehicle models are expected to be eligible in the future as OEMs expand their domestic supply chains and production facilities in North America and release additional models in the coming years. The used vehicle credit is a little more flexible, with the credit applying to any used electric vehicle sold through a dealer which is at least 2 years old. The vehicle's sale price must be no higher than $25,000, and this credit can only be applied to any particular used vehicle one time. Due to the somewhat stringent requirements for critical mineral sourcing and battery assembly, the credit will not apply to all vehicle models initially, and some outlets have estimated that up to 70% of electric and hybrid vehicle models available in the US will not be eligible to receive the credit. Despite this limitation, some of the most popular and best-selling models such as the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, Nissan Leaf, Ford F-150 Lightning and Mach-E, and the Chevy Bolt EV, as well as a variety of other hybrid options, will all be eligible for the full $7,500 credit. We at AmpUp are excited to see decisive action taken by the federal government and are very optimistic that these and other policies in the Inflation Reduction Act will continue to make electric vehicles more accessible and should act as fuel for accelerated adoption in the years to come. We want to thank our hardware, distribution, installation, and site host partners for helping us to enable this change and joining us in bringing clean transportation solutions to communities all across the country. Thank you.